Welcome to this course. In this course, we are going to learn about differences between the Azure SQL and your MI. So, of course, in this course, we are not going to discuss about the managed instance because this course we have designed for PAS, that is called Platform as a Services. And this is the one of the services which is Microsoft is providing into the Azure cloud. In the in my previous video session, you will see I have already created the course for infrastructure as a services, right? So this course is already ready, and after that I thought to create the course for PaaS, that is the platform as a services, right? And in the last video session we have already discussed a few introduction of the PaaS, introduction of Azure cloud, and there we have already discussed about that all services and some differences. We'll go first, and just I will show you what we have learned into this, right? So I will open my PPT, and I will just go through it like last video session. Whatever you have learned, we have already learned what are the advantage of the cloud. Then we have discussed there is three type of services which is Microsoft is providing. One is infrastructure as a services. For this already course, I have created, so you can go through that course if you want. uh, then we have discussed about and in this video session or in this course it is designed for platform as a services, right? And then we have gone through some differences between the IAAS and PAS, right? And in PAS I have all explained you there is two types of PAS model. That is, if you will go, this is the two types. One is called your Azure SQL DB, and other one is Azure Managed Instance. These things we have already discussed in our last class, right? Last video session. And again I explain you, and we are not going to touch this Azure managed instance. We are going to discuss about only this, that is called Azure SQL database, right? And then here we have learned there is two types. One is single and one is elastic pool. Single database having their own hardware, right? And elastic pool, it is shared, like all database which one you are creating, it will be shared hardware you will get, right? And then again I have explained about this SQL PaaS. There is two types which one we have discussed just now. One is your managed instance, and this two will become other one, that is a SQL DB. So this is the part of PaaS only, that also we have learned here. Okay. And we have gone through some elastic pool model and all. And also I have explained, if you are going to the SQL, the Azure portal, like this it is going to become. And today's session, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn about the differences between what differences. We are going to see the differences between the single DB, means Azure SQL. Azure means in this PaaS. In the PaaS model, it is divided into the two part, right? One is your elastic pool model, uh, and single DB model, and then manage instance model. So we are going to see the differences between this manage instance and your Azure SQL, right? I hope this is cleared for you guys. There is will be the no doubt, right? So if you want, I will show you this one. So this is very nicely you will understood. This is nothing but it is your PaaS model. In the PaaS model, it is divided into the this is the Azure SQL, and Azure SQL having the three services. One is called as your SS, infrastructure as a services, IAAS, right? And this two it is called as PaaS, platform as a services, right? And in this PaaS it is divided into the two part. One is Azure SQL DB, and other one is managed instance. So we are going to see the differences between the these two, and this two is the part of PaaS only, right? This is the PaaS. This is the PaaS. In the PaaS model, it is divided into the two part. One is Azure SQL DB, one is managed instance. So we are going to see these two differences. And here, if you are saying it is divided into the two part, you don't have to much more take care on this, because it is just it's having the single hardware unit, and it's your hardware is shared across the all DB. That's it. Only this. So what we are going to learn, we are going to see the differences between the Azure SQL database and the managed instance. But managed instance, we are not going to learn in this course. That one we are going to create the separate course for it. Right. And here we are going to see just introduction. I'm going to give you about the managed instance because we are going to learn the PAAS. So you have to know what is PAAS and how it is done, how it is divided, right? So anyhow, you guys have, if you have not gone through my MI, means infrastructure as a services, I will request you to go and watch this, right? So now we'll start our session now. Okay, so first things what we are going to learn here, first thing we are going to learn how we are going to create the PAAS in the PAAS, how we are going to create the SQL DB, right? So you can see if you are typing here Azure SQL, it will be going to launch this page. And in this page, if you are going to click on the create, you will see the three services it is given here. One is your Azure virtual machine. This virtual machine is nothing but it is this virtual machine is nothing but it is your what IAAS, that is infrastructure as services. These two will come under PAAS model, right? That one I have already explained. Again, I am telling you because this infrastructure you have to understood very carefully. And in this managed instance, we are not going to discuss this. We are going to discuss about Azure database. If I will click on the Azure database, you can see the three thing is coming here. One is single database, one is elastic pool, and other one is database server. If you want to create any database, first you have to create the server. So we'll go and we are going to learn in this video session how to create the database server, how to create the Azure SQL DB. Then after that, we are going to learn about the differences between these two, Azure SQL database and managed instance. After that, we are going to discuss something on Azure migration. Let's start the video now. Okay, so I'm going to single database. I will hit on create first. If I will go to create, you have to select. I'm using my if you will see, I'm using my paid services, so I have to pay for it. This is a pay as you go. You already knows in cloud, whatever you are using, you have to pay. So what I'm going to do, I will go to this my pay as you go. This is my subscription. If you have already gone through my infrastructure as a services video, then there will be no doubt, right? You will understood each and everything. What is subscription? What is resource group? Everything I have explained in my video, right? So resource group, it is the collection of all resources, right? So I will go and I will selecting what should be my resource group. I am going to put my all server, all database in this resource group. I'm giving as a database server name. So just I'm giving test server. And if this server is available, it is going to be give all in green color, right? Database name, sorry. I will give here test DB. You can see this database is fine. And why should I will go with creating the database? First, I will show you the server creation, right? Then it will become easy for you guys. So go here, hit on the create. This time I'm not going with a single database. I will go and creating the server first. Even you have the facility, if you are going to create the database, you can see here it is giving you to create the new server. If I'm hitting here, it is not coming anything because server is not ready. If you while creating the database also, you will able to create the server. So you can go hit on the create and you can create the server, but I don't want to go to in that way. First I'm going to do, I will go my Azure SQL and then I will hit on the create. After that, I will select the database server and I'm hitting on the create. And I will going to select my resource group, which resource group I want, right? And after that, it's asking for the server name. I'm going to give my server name as a test server and I'm giving today date. It is 204082025. Now you can see this server is available. This name is available. I will go and select some other location, West US 2. And after that, we will discuss these things later. What is this Microsoft Entra only authentication? What is Windows authentication? What is SQL authentication? These things we are going to discuss into the other session, but not now. As of now, I am selecting. I will connect my server as a SQL authentication. Um, I'm giving DBA underscore admin. This is my login name, and I'm assigning my password. I have given some password here and it is taken correctly. I'm going to the next button. When I'm clicking on the next button, you can see there is nothing coming as networking. You can see there is nothing it's coming like in my if whenever we are going to create into the virtual machine, there are a lot of parameter we are selecting, like your virtual network. And virtual network, we are creating multiple of IPs, then we are taking the subnet. But you can see in the in PAAS model, in the PAAS model, we are not getting anything here. So we can say we don't have VNet concept in the Azure SQL, right? Right? I'm not talking about MI. This is the part of in PAAS. It is divided into the two part. One is Azure SQL DBA, one is MI. I'm talking about here about Azure SQL DB. So we can say we don't have any VNet for the Azure SQL, right? And you can see here uh, there is some firewall rule, so we can say we have only private endpoint here, right? So it is private endpoint. So okay, so if you are using only private endpoint, and these things we have already discussed in our video, that is for um, infrastructure as a services. What is private endpoint, what is public endpoint, what is private IP, public IP, and how it is going to be connect, right? So if you are using only private endpoint, so there will be lot of restriction and limitation. So what work we are able to achieve using infrastructure as services, maybe those feature we will not able to get here in Azure SQL DB, right? So if any criteria, I told you while discussing this, we will discuss about the migration also. I'm not doing the full migration here in this video, but some of the topic we'll discuss. So it will make you the much more easier for you to understood the cloud, right? So if you are talking, if any client is saying, I need some networking, I need some virtual network, I need some IP, I need some subnet. So directly you can tell to the client, you can't go for Azure SQL DB because Azure SQL DB is not going to provide you the virtual network. So if interview you are getting whether in this Azure SQL DB you are creating the virtual network, no, we are not creating anything here. So I think it is clear now. Okay, so if I'm going with the next here, next security, right? Then you can see that is also you can take as a default. Go here, start free trial. It is up to you. If you want, I will go to this. Go to tag review and just I will. It is just checking everything, and you can hit on the create. It will take some time to creating the server database server. Till now, I have not created database. I am making ready for my server. So what you understood, there is no concept of VNet in Azure SQL. So because of VNet is not there, there is a lot of limitation and lot of restriction. And what you understood, so if you want any virtual network or subnet, right, then you have to go for MI. But manage instance, in the manage instance, there is concept of virtual network. Be remember in PAAS, there is two part. One part is Azure SQL, one part is MI, right? So if you will compare with the MI, you can create the virtual network. So if some people is saying, your client is saying, I want to go for virtual network, right? I want some more security. So in that, and they want to go with PaaS. They are not ready before going with the infrastructure as a services. They want to go with the platform as a services. That time you can tell, no, in Azure SQL DB it is not possible, but MI it is possible. So because this class is not for MI, but I'm giving some differences. If you are going to get something, you can tell these things. And again, there is some problem. It is there with the MI. That is some side limitation is there. That one we are going to learn into the next video session. And there is something called authentication also. That also we are going to learn upcoming in this video. Okay, so I will go to the resource first. And if I will go to the home and going with the Azure SQL, you will able to see here it is created. Then you can see the SQL Server, right? Now I have to create the database. So how I will go and create? I'm going from the beginning. I don't want to take any shortcuts. You go and hit on the create. You go and select the single DB. Then again, it will come for you what is single DB and what is elastic pool, right? So that thing we will discuss again later. Don't worry now. Just go with the single database and select the resource group. And I am going to select the database name. I'm taking as a sorry, test test DB. Let's see whether this name is available. Yes, this name is available. And you can see before it was coming the create new. But whenever we selected here, it was not giving any the server name. Now it is coming. And this is the server name we have created. So we are selecting that server name and then we are going to create the database. And again, it is asking where you want go for production or development. Again, there is something called compute plus storage. This is very, very important. We will discuss these things now. If you are going to hit on the configure database, right? So what you are going to see, it is going to be give you some option here. That is called, you can select in the Azure SQL, you can go with the vCore model or you can go with the DTU model. In the VTB core model, there is three types that is called general purpose, and it is written here most of the budget family friendly, and next is hyperscale, and third one is business critical. If you are going for the production, people will use the hyperscale or business critical. And if you are going with DTU model, there is something called basic, standard, and premium. We are going to discuss these two things, what is vCore model and DTU model, into the upcoming video session, right? Then after that, if you are going to select anything, either you can select the general purpose or either you select the hyperscale or either you select anything business critical, rate is going to be changed along with this, right? And I'm not going to select anything. I will go with the default one. And then again, there is two things that is called provisioned and the serverless, right? And then if you are going down, you can see this hardware configuration. So what you understood, there is three things is very, very important. One thing is important, if you're going for SQL DB, right? You have to select proper trial. Which one you are going to select? Okay, whether you are going for general purpose, hyper, business critical, and each having their own advantage and disadvantage. And next, if you are, so first you have to, what you have to, if any client is saying yes, I want to go for PAAS only, right? So what you understood, you have to go and then you have to ask how you are going. You are going with the vCore or DTO model, right? And if you are going with the vCore, we have the three tier here. And if you are going with the D2, again, we have the three here. So which one you are going to select? You have to ask for the compute tier. You have to select either you are going with the provisioned or serverless. We are going to discuss each and everything. Don't worry about this. And again, we have hardware configuration. If you are going to click on the hardware configuration, you can see it is talking about the series, which series you are going to take, right? If I will hit on this, it is, you can see for me it is coming only this much. You can see we have Gen 5, we have FS V2 series. So which series you are going to select? And each service series having, like here you can go with 625 GB max memory. It's having the 128 core. It's having maximum storage of 4 terabyte. And if you go and you will see this one also having the 4 terabyte. If you're going with configuration. So what you understood here, I will go and I will show you that. So in the past, there is one restriction is there. Uh, there is the limitation of 4 TB. But if you are going with this, if you are going with this, that is called hyperscale, then it is not showing anything here. If you'll go for the configuration also, it is not showing about maximum storage. That thing we are going to discuss again um, with our next video. So you can see I have okay, somewhere I have written here for you. Okay, not here. Hyperscale. So you can see that if you are going for the hyperscale, what it is saying. So you can see is the for Azure SQL database hyperscales offers what it is going to be offer. It is going to offer database is 128 TB. So what you how you are going to remember this, right? So if you are going with the PAAS, right? In PAAS, in the all module, whatever module you have, right? Either you can go with general purpose or business critical, that all having the limitation of 4 terabyte, right? You cannot go and you cannot use more than this 4 terabyte. But if you are going with the hyper skill, you have the facility to go with the 128 terabyte space. And what it is written here, you can see here. Okay, and then this limit is not configurable and storage scales automatically as data grows. So what it is starting from minimum of 10 GB, because it is not written here. That's why I explain you. If you are going with the hyperscale, what you understood, you cannot select any database size here. I will go with the 4 TB or 120. It is like as per as your database will be grow, right? Automatically it is going to be expand, and it is going to be that much space from Azure storage, right? So that's why. So you can see if you have anything requirement like, no, I have to use more than 4 terabyte size of the database, right? So that time you have to go with the hyperscale only. Remaining all in PAAS is limited to 4 terabyte. Just so you can just remember this, right? Next is coming here that hardware configuration. That one I will give you which generation you have to take and what you have to take. It's a very simple. I will tell you in the upcoming class, but I don't want this first. I have to explain you how to create the Azure database. I will go and hit on the create. You can see it is giving that how much monthly money it will come, and click on the create. So what you understood, we remember very simple point, right? If you are going with the MI, you have the 16 terabyte side only. But if your requirement client is saying like I have 25 TB of requirement of my database, at that point you have to go with the hyper skill only. You cannot go with the MI. There is something called restriction. So this restriction is the very problem for selecting the proper databases, proper services in the Azure. Right. So remember what you will remember in PAAS, in the all, it is 4 TB, but hyper skill, it's having the 128 terabyte we can go. Right. So like that you will able to select. So again, while it is creating, we will discuss few more things, right? So Windows authentication, right? Windows authentication is going to be supported by MI, but Windows authentication is not going to be supported by SQL, Azure SQL DB, right? So these things be remember in your put in your mind. So let's see, it will take some time, and and then we will discuss on this, right? So we'll go in the meantime. First, it will take some time to create. I have opened few more things, right? So just I will go through it. And a single DB model and elastic DB model, already I have told you. Single DB is your hardware. It is not going to be shared by the all database having their own hardware. And if you're going to go elastic, your hardware is shared across all databases. Then it is created. No uh, limitation, you understood. If you are going with the hyper skill, you can go with the 128 TB. Go with the next, that is called what is the mm, provisioned and serverless, that is also there, right? So provisions and serverless, what happened, it is when it's having the fixed cost for it, right? The meaning of this means you can see it is given here in cloud computing. Provisioned and serverless architecture represent different approaches to resource management and cost allocation, right? Provisioned resources are dedicated to the specific task and always available, while serverless resources are dynamic allocation and scaled by their cloud provider with the billing based on actual usage. The meaning of this means if you are creating any databases, right, and database is not in use, right, so automatically it is not going to charge if you have given like 4 GB and that was storage, and there is no connection on in the database, right? So it is not going to be charged, it will be variable, dynamic. But if you are going with how much your database is used, right, that much it is going to be cost. And if you are going with other one, right, so there it is the fixed cost, it is there. So provisions means you have already provisioned, so it is going to be charged that much monthly. But in serverless, the your cost, your budget is going to be vary because it's depend upon how much connection is happen, how much people is connected through it. So like that. So I hope it is created. No, it is still not created. It is in the process of creating. Meantime, we will discuss something different. So you can see database compatibility. So you can see there is the differences. Azure SQL database and managed instance. These two are the part of PAAS only. Right here we will discuss. You can see the it is always encrypted. Yes, it is fine. Always on ability groups. Yes, always on ability group is not possible into the past. It is given here something called yes 99%. It is given, but it is not possible. But MI it is possible, right? Again, I am going to discuss about attach the database. You already know in the last video session I have already discussed in the past platform as a services there is no operating system is available, right? If the operating system is not available, whether you will able to attach or detach the your MDF or LDF5? No. So that's why, because OS is not available. So that's why it is not possible to attach or detach the databases. It is taking a little bit more time. So you can see this is my SQL server, right? So here it is not, it is my on-prem. Just treat as a on-prem. In here I have created. So if you want anything, so attach and detach, you are going to the database and you are detaching it, and then you are moving the file. But you cannot go inside the operating system. Then how you are going to move this, right? So that's why attach and detach it is not possible using in PAAS in any model. Either you are going for MI or if you are going for the Azure SQL, right? So you can see the auditing, you will able to do this. So I'm going with the next, going to the resource and try to connect my resource. So you can see here it is the server name it is coming. I will copy this and I'm going to paste it here. And again, we have to check what the name I have given here. Name, if you want to go and check somewhere, you will able to see. Can you go? Okay, you go inside this. You can see I'm there. It is giving here DBA underscore admin. And there is something called we have to do some network setting because we have to give the permission. If we are not, and I told you, right, these things, right? So whenever we are just creating the database, that time I told you in Azure SQL we have only private endpoint, right? Private endpoint. So what we are going, it is this. Okay, I will go to the here and just create the rule. Already it is added here. Just you go and save. These things I will discuss later. Don't worry now. Okay. So now I will go here and I will try Windows authentication. I'm changing to SQL authentication. I'm just pasting here DB underscore admin. I'm giving the password. So I have connected with my PAAS server. If I will expand this, you can see it is coming here which database I was created. I have created the test DB. So only three things is coming here. One is your server name, then database, and then security. If you are compare with your on-prem, there is a lot of things it is coming here. There is no agent, no job. So we are going to discuss these things in upcoming video. Don't worry about this. So we'll go to this our video here. So again, one more differences I will discuss here, that is called, which is not written here. So but if you are going with Azure SQL, right, you can create only Microsoft SQL Server only. You cannot create anything, right? So you are going and creating here. So what we have created, so again one more thing is there. If you will go to here and try to create any databases, right, that's called MySQL, or if you are go with the Cosmos DB, right, everything is possible in Azure SQL, right? But but in MI that is not possible. So we'll go better, I will discuss this, then you will understood more. So backup command, right? So tell me whether it is possible to take the backup into this. No, your backup is not supported, because this if I'm talking about backup means .bak file. So .bak file, it is not going to be supported into the Azure SQL. But in MI, it is going to be supported. So that's why it is written here, copy only backup. You can create here, right? So there is a lot of differences. It is there. You can see where it is, which is the important one. That one we are going to discuss on to this. Okay. You can see here, then indexes. I'm not going to discuss this. So where it is, the next is here, cross query, right? This is nothing but your cross query. In this, in Azure SQL, cross query will not work, right? So if I will go here and I'm going opening my new query session, right, and if I'm going to use any use command, that is not going to work. So if I will going to use master, whether it will work, it will not work. So it is saying new, use a new connection to connect the different database. It is not possible while extending on to this database and getting and select the other database, right? It is not possible. But in the MI, that is possible. In the VM, virtual machine, or in your physical machine, or if you have installed a SQL server in your laptop, there it is possible. How you are doing, select star from, you are giving the database name, schema name, and table name. If you are going to select, if you are standing on the any database, you can go and you can select the any other database information. But here it is not possible. So what will be happen if you are going to migrate any database from this on-prem to Azure cloud, and your application is using this database, the three databases, right? And if you want to go here and you want to migrate, that is not possible. And if you want to migrate, what you have to do, some structural changes is required, that all table you have to put into the single database, right? Then only you will able to do. But there is something they have given, that is called elastic. There is something they have given, that is called elastic query. So that one we'll discuss what is the elastic query, but there is some limitation, is again it is there, right? It is not 100% you can use, but some more you can manage. If you want to access something on from different database, you can go with the elastic query, right? And coming to the next, uh, just cross database transaction, that is not possible. uh, right here you can go and create the link server and all, that is possible. Database mail, you can see the database mail, it is not possible in the SQL. But if you are going with Azure MI, right, Azure MI, if you are MI managed instance you are going, it is possible. If you are going with the mirroring, it is not possible either here or either here, right? Because you don't have Windows, right? And if you don't have Windows, or otherwise you can say, so you cannot do this one, right? So that's why, because backup is not possible, full backup, and then you have to take from one server to other server, how we are doing into the um, into your physical machine or your on-prem databases. But here it is not possible, because OS itself, it is not there, right? Coming to next, it is called database snapshot. That is also not possible here. Database virtualization, yes, you cannot do here, but you can do here, right? These things is it is fine. Uh, mm, DML operation, that one I'm not going to discuss more here. Link server, right? Link server you cannot create into the Azure SQL, but it is possible into this here in MI. But again, there is one limitation here. Just think about that. In whenever you are creating the link server, right? You from the link server you will able to access the different platform of the database, right? If you want to get that data from Oracle, right? If you want to see the data from the Oracle database, that also you can do from your link server. But see, in Azure SQL, that is not possible. But if you are going with MI, it is possible. But if you are compare with your on-prem, in on-prem what happened, you are installing some drivers, right? If you want MySQL, or if you want to access the Oracle database, right? So you are creating something called driver, right? And that driver you cannot install in MI, because MI, you don't have OS, you don't have Windows, you cannot go inside the server. So that's why you cannot install the uh, driver. So if you are not going to install if you are not able to install the driver, Oracle driver, or some different RDMS, no databases, so you will not get the connectivity. That is the one limitation here. In the MI, you will able to connect from one SQL server to other SQL server only, not any other no heterogeneous replication. If you want to set up, that is not possible here. Into this is a limitation. But if somebody is asking whether you will able to create, yes, we will able to create, but not that one. Okay, coming to next is lock shipping, not possible into the in anywhere, right? You cannot create there, you cannot create in MI, you cannot create in the SQL Azure SQL DB, or you cannot create into this in MI. Okay, so there is something called this. This is not that much important. You can we will go to the down, restored from database backup. So of course you will not able to do from this BAK file, because but continuously backup is happening for the Azure SQL DB, so you can directly restore from the Azure server, but not .bak file. So go here, go to the next SQL Server agent. No, agent is not available into your what to say in Azure SQL, but in MI, agent will be available, right? Auditing you can not do here, but here you can do, right? Coming to next is STEMDB. Of course, here this STEMDB, it is individually is STEMDB. If you are talking about TempDB, okay, I will go and just I will be discuss one point onto the TempDB, so you can understood this each point about the TempDB. If you are talking about TempDB, so TempDB is will be provided depending upon the trier. It is not like one DB is going to be used for all. So that is the again one more thing here. So what I will do, I will go to the first to my Azure SQL, and let's see now. So where I am standing on the test DB. And if I have to select the, even if you'll go, you cannot see the temp DB here. You can see that there is only master databases coming. If somebody is asking whether we are using only master DB, no, we are not using only. Internally, it is using the temp DB also. So how we will prove that? I'm going to run something called select star from temp db dot sys dot databases underscore files. I think this is the If I'm going to execute this command, let's see what you are getting here. You will able to see there is one MDF file and there is one LDF file. There is three NDF file is there. Okay, same thing if I will copy from here and I'm going with the master database and I'm trying to run here. Let's see how many database file it is giving here. Okay. You can see there is the multiple of temp.db file it is coming. Why it is coming? Because I told you before also this Azure SQL is individual. Each database is individually. It is, you can say it is each database is identical, right? Each database having their own identity, right? So that's why for each databases it is going to be tempdb is going to be varied. Here it is instance as a services, right? There is one instance, but here you can say it is a database identity, right? So here that is one instance. Here it is the database as a services. There it is the instance as a services, right? So one instance, one tempdb, but here it is the one database having their own internally tempdb, right? So that's why it is using different database. Okay, one more thing what I will do, I will go here and I'm going to create the new databases. Of course it will be going to create some default database and it is going to be take some default value on this. So I will just typing here just 1 2 3 I've given here and I will click on OK. So let's see this time what tire it is. So what you understood is totally depend upon your tire, which tire you are selecting. Depending upon that, it is going to create, it is going to give you the temp div information. Okay, so I will go here and I'm going to my Azure portal. I'm going to my Azure database. Let's see what database I have created. This is Azure SQL. This is the test DB, right? And if you'll go here, you can see I was selected the pricing hyper skill. I will go here and I will try to change this thing to something different this time. I will go and I will go and I'm selecting general purpose. I'm going with the apply. Let's wait for some time because it is creating, and here also it is creating. It will take some time to create. So even using the GUI also you will able to create, but you cannot do the all work into the Azure SQL using this one. Okay, you leave it. There is something it is I was not able to do. So let's see, we will see the later that one. Okay, so first check this one is going to create. It will take some time for creation. I will try to change something from here. It is going for the Gen 5. Select this tire. Let's see general purpose. This time it is taking or not. It is taking time. Let's see. I'm doing the scalability, scaling my databases, right? Scale up or scale down. Okay, so leave it. That one we don't want to discuss now because what I have to teach, I have to teach now, right? So let's wait for some time. It is two is already become successful. I'm going with the third one. All three is successfully. So test 1 2 3 is created now. So if I will go here and I will try to refresh this database. Let be there because test 1 2 3 I have created. I will go to the new query window. Paste it, execute now. See, for this it is coming one temp DB, MDF, one LDF, and three NDF. Here it is the lot of coming the NDF and your data file and all. Here it is, you can see the 1 2 3 and one LDF and one NDF. So by default, what you understood, if I will go and I will go to the SQL server, and then if I will go and select my databases, you can see this is the hyper skill, right? And here you can see this is not giving any tire. So if I'm going to change the tire, then what is going to be happen? Okay, anyhow, it is selected. Sorry, what I'm doing. No. You can see. So what you understood here, you are going to create, if by default, if you are creating, it is going to create under the general purpose. It is going to create under general purpose that database. So it is giving here general purpose. So by default, if somebody will ask if you are going to create by default, you can say by default it is going to create under general purpose, and it is the vCore model. It is not DTU model, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just changing to basic. Let's see what will be happen now. This time I am doing some changes on the databases. Let's see whether it will be allow or not. So then we will discuss again. We have to discuss many lot of things here. So meantime, it is selecting. We will not waste our time. I will go with the differences here. So temp DB you understood, right? So temp DB is totally depend upon which tier you are selecting, right? It will be not depend upon that it is same as your um, in on-prem server. It will not work on that. It will be totally depend upon which tier you are selecting. In that tier, it is that much databases you will able to see. If somebody is asking temp DB will be there into the Azure SQL, you can say you using the geographical tool, you cannot able to see that temp DB databases, but backend it is using the temp DB. Okay. So coming next here, trace flag, Windows clustering, this is blah blah, automatic backup. These things we have already discussed, right? So what we are going to do now, I will go and I will compare here. That is very simple things, and then you will understood. We will go each and one by one, each and every point. If you want, you can make the note on this, right? For this, right? And then we are going to discuss about that all model also, which are the model is available into this. So next is like uh, if somebody is asking whether always on is possible or not in MI. No, MI there is not possible. um, MI is in managed instance, always on high availability is not possible, right? Right. So there is some different concept. It is used by the Microsoft. That one we are going to discuss later. You can see this is the scale. We have done some scaling. Now if I will go and I will use this database, right? Let's see what result it is giving. Let's see. Now also it is giving that by default only. It's fine then. Oh, I'm using the test DB. Sorry. I have to use the test 123. Test 123. You can see now. Now it is using only one MDF file and one LDF file. So why it is giving the different here? It is different for this database. It is different for this database. It is different for master database. It is different. So it is proof is it is totally depend upon your which tile you are selecting and which tier you are creating the database. Right? It is not is instance specific. It is the database specific. Your temp DB, right? So again, if somebody is going to be ask you whether the full backup is possible into the MI, no, it is not possible, right? You have to go with copy only full backup in MI, and you cannot take the any backup into the Azure SQL. So what you understood in Azure SQL, backup is not possible, but if you are going with the MI, backup is possible, but you cannot take the full backup. You have to take the copy only backup. Okay, so again I'm asking one more question, that patching, who is going to manage the patching into that PAAS? In the beginning only I told you, because there is no operating system, so the patching will be managed by Microsoft only. You don't have to take care about the patching into the PAAS, right? So you cannot upgrade any server and all, right? So this will be so which version you are it is going to be used into the PAAS. In PAAS, if you are using, it will be the highest version, right? It will be theirs, and all will be used the same version only in the world. select whether this command will work. If I will go with the select at the rate of version, right? Which one it is going to give? You can see it is going to give this version, and this is the same version it is going to be used for all SQL Server who is going to use, right? I will remove this. So it will be there in all will be there into the same version only, right? Again, there will be one more question, right? If somebody is asking you, any person is asking you, your client is asking you, I have the SSIS package and I want to move for the PAAS, right? Whether it is possible? No, it is not possible, because if you are using any SSIS DTS package, right? So where you are going to put that package, right? It is not possible because OS itself is not there. You cannot go inside the server. So 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 it is not possible. If somebody is asking you, I want to move, I want to migrate, so you can tell if your job, your agent is having, so first your SQL Server agent is not there into that Azure SQL. So you cannot go in the Azure SQL. If you are moving for MI where you have the agent available, but you don't have any operating system, you cannot go inside the server. So DTS package, that is not possible. So you can say like SSIS, AS, or RS. It is not possible, but they have given sub alternative that is called Power BI, Azure Data Factory, and the data warehouse house. Using that, you will able to use and you can go through it, but traditionally it is not possible. Okay. So again, there is one more thing we will go and discuss here. If somebody is asking like, no, I want to migrate the server to the on-prem, to the not MI. So again, what you have to ask, the first thing you have to ask, whether you have the OS dependency or not. If you have OS dependency, then you cannot go with the MI, right? Manage instance. You cannot go with Azure SQL, because in this two is coming under the PAAS, and PAAS itself, it's not having any operating system. I hope these things is very clear for you guys, right? So again, we will discuss into the next video session about your login and all, like which are the login is possible, not possible. That thing we will discuss. So if somebody will ask you about the replication, let's see, something we'll discuss about the replication now. Hey, what it is open? Replication, right? So whether replication, okay, it is coming replication here. Okay, 1 minute. I'm checking. Okay, transaction replication. You can see if you are talking about replication. So you can see here, it is written here, transaction replication. Yes, it is possible. Transaction and snapshot replication, subscriber only. So in this, you can use as a subscriber only. You cannot use for distributor or that is something different on this, right? So what we can see in the, if you are talking about MI, so I'm making it very simple for you. If you want, you can make the note on this. If you're talking about MI, right? So MI in the managed instance, your server, managed instance server, can act as publisher, distributor, right? But it's but subscriber, you cannot do it. Okay, so I will make you the again make you the clear for you. So what you understood here, in MI can act, MI server, I'm talking about managed instance server, can act as publisher, distributor, and subscriber. But if you're talking about Azure SQL, right, it will only support the subscriber. It is not going to support for publisher and distributor. Be remember, if somebody is saying like replication is possible, you have seen here, yes, but this is the criteria. MI You can go with publisher, distributor, subscriber, but here only publisher and distributor. I hope it is clear, right? Polybase MI is not going to support the polybased, and your this server, what to say, SQL server, SQL Azure SQL will also not support that uh, polybased, right? I hope it is cleared for you, right? So we are going to discuss many more thing into the future on no in future, but there is few more thing I have to discuss, that is called two things. One is called your uh, memory or space limitation, right? And we are going to discuss few more thing, how it is going to be Azure cloud is divided, right? So leave it close this, and I will go and open uh, one picture for you, and it is going to be make you the more clear. So now I will make little bit big here. Okay, so in PAAS, what you understood, there is two types. In PAAS, it is two type. One is called uh, single DB or elastic DB. That is called as Azure SQL. You can see here, I have written here. In PAAS, it is okay. I will change the color. In PAAS, what you understood? In PAAS, it is divided into the two part. One is Azure SQL DB and one is managed instance, right? These two. In Azure SQL, there is two types. One is single DB and one is elastic DB. You already know what is single DB and what is elastic DB. Single DB, all resource, um, individual database having their own resources, own hardware. But in the elastic DB, it is using the shared resource, right? And if you are going, okay, I have to move little bit. Okay, I have to make little bit. Okay, now it is fine. Okay, if you are going with a single DB, what you understood into either you go with a single DB or so what happened? There is two types. One is called DTU, one is called vCore. That one we'll see now here, because I will compare and I will show you. I will go to the Azure SQL. I will try to create something. I have three things: single DB, Elastic Pool, and database server. You leave it. There you have seen the SQL database, managed instance, and virtual machine. And these two we have only copied here. That is called, one is Azure SQL and one is managed instance. You can see I have written here. That only it is showing SQL database and managed instance. If you are going with the SQL DB, what you are able to see, there is, I'm going to select that single DB, single database. Elastic Pool and database you have already understood, right? So that one I have already written here, Elastic DB and single DB, right? And a server I have not written, because server you can, if you are going to create the database, then also you have to create the server you have seen just now, right? If you don't have server, means it will ask you to create, then only it is going to create the database. So basically here two things: single DB and elastic pool. So that I have written here, single DB and the elastic DB. Coming to next, here if I'm going to select the single DB and going for create the database, I will select any database name here, or domain diseases. I will select, and then we have to select the storage, right? If I will hit on the storage selection, what you are able to see, there is three types: vCore and the DTU. vCore having the three types and DTU having the three types, right? That only I have written here. Either you will go with the DTU model or you can go with the vCore model. If you are going with the DTU, you have the three options it is available. That is called basic, standard, and premium. Same thing you can see if you are going with the vCore model, you have no, if you are going with the DTU model, okay, if you are going with the DTU model, you have the basic, you have the standard, you have the premium. If you are going with the basic, you can see here what is the maximum size you will able to choose. Maximum size you will able to choose the 2 GB, right? You can see the maximum database size is 2 GB, right? Okay, if you are going with standard, what you will be able to see, this see maximum size you can go with this much, and you, there is something called max core. Max core you will able to go with the 300 DTU core. So what is this DTU core? And what is this called, max size? Max DB side, I think you don't have any problem, right? Okay, so what you are able to see, it is this much GB, right? So it is approximate 1 TB. So that's why you will able to see basic 2 GB. And if you are going with the standard, what how much? It is the 1 TB. If you are going with standard, that is the 1 TB storage. It has Microsoft has been provided. Anyhow, you don't have to remember these things. If you are remember, you will forget that. That's sure. So if you are talking about DTUs, right? So what is this DTU, right? And if you're talking about DTU, this DTU is only available for Azure DB. That is also one thing you have to put in your mind. So DTU concept is only available for the Azure SQL DB, not for MI. If somebody will ask you whether MI we can select the DTU based, no, you cannot select the DTU based model into the MI. But what is this DTU? DTU is nothing but it is the combination of CPU memory and IO. So combination of CPU memory IO is nothing but your DTU. So you can go click on this and just go and read the DTU model and all. So that thing I don't want to discuss. So what you understood? So what I have written here. So basic, you can go with the 2 GB only. Standard, you can go with 1 TB only. But if you are going to select the premium, right? Where in the DTU model, you can go with the 4000 DTUs and data max size is 4 TB. And that's why I told you can go with the maximum. I'm not talking about the minimum size. If somebody is saying, no, my requirement is more than 4 TB, you cannot go with the DTU model. That is clear. And if you are going with the vCore model also, in the vCore model also, it is divided. Now I'm going to select the vCore model. Let's select. So now it is clear for you. In the PAAS, there is two types. It is divided. One is called Azure SQL and one is called Managed Instance. Azure SQL, it is divided into the two part like single DB model and elastic DB. If you are going with a single DB, again it is divided into the two model that is called DTU based model and vCore model. What is the DTU core model? DTU core model is nothing but is the combination of CPU memory and IO. If you are going with the vCore itself having their CPU memory and IO, right? And if you are going with the DTU core model. So there is three types that is called basic, standard, and premium. If you are going with the basic, there is 2 GB only, standard for 1 TB only, premium for 4 TB. Maximum DTU unit is 4000, right? And now what I am going to do, I will go and I will select, I will go back again. Wait. Okay. So I'm going with a single DB. Create, I'm just clicking here. Database name, I will select this one, right? Test, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm going with configuration and this time I will select, okay. And this time so if you will go with vCore, if when I am going with a DTU model, you can see there is no concept of this serverless and provisions and serverless. Provision and serverless concept will come only or vCore. Once I am going with select with the vCore model, then you will able to see it is down, it is coming that provisions and serverless. So what you understood, if you are going with the vCore model, again it is divided into the two part, that is the provision nest and serverless. So that one I have made here. So if you are going with the vCore model, there is two core model here. One is prov provisions and one is serverless. What is provision? Provision means it is your cost is already fixed and serverless cost will be vary, because if it is uses is there, it will be charge you. If the uses is not there, it will go for ideals. So that one we will discuss into the later video session, not now. I'm going with the provisions, right? Provision. So down you can see the data mesh, how much you will able to create. vCore, you can see how much it is possible. You can go with the 128 and terabyte is 4 TB. So directly you can see for general purpose, business critical, everything it is the 4 TB. Only for hyper skill it is different. Now if I'm go and I will changing to hyper skill, you will not able to see here how much max size we will able to go. It will give you the trial, right? So again there is one thing it is there, like if it is not giving what is the size, maximum size. So when you will google it, it is going to tell you the hyper skill, it will go with 128 terabyte hyper skill, right? Either you go with any one, provisions or serverless. Then again go with the business critical, and business critical is also same. It is not when I click on the big, so you can see it is just limited to how much, 4 TB. So that's why I have not written here general purpose and business critical both having the 4 TB only. And same thing will go for, I think, serverless also. So if you want to check serverless, so what I will going to do, I will go again here, going to create the database. I'm going to single DB, go hit on the create, just I'm not creating, just I'm selecting. So I have selected here. I will go to this compute plus storage, and this time I will go with okay, provision list. This time I'm going with the server list. So server list you are going again, I think it will be the same only. So this time, because DTU there is no concept of provisions and serverless, this concept will come only for VTU vCore. So this time if I will select a serverless, if I will select general purpose, right? So again it is going to give you the same only. So you can see max score it is going to be give you, and it is this much score it is possible, right? Because it is not going to select. Go with the hyper skill. So again you will see it is not going to display, but internally it will use the same only. So here it will use the 4 TB, means general purpose it is the 4 TB. Hyper skill means again it will go for 128 TB, and business critical again it is the 4 TB only. So I hope you have understood the memory concept in the each component or each trial. There is again one more thing is very important that you have to understood, that's called this hardware configuration. And hardware configuration, if you're going, there will be multiple of series it will come. So which series you have to select, that is also very important, right? So if you are going for with series means max v core, max memory, how much we have to select. So if you are working as a junior DBA or mid level of DBA, this everything will be come from your architect. So this is not you, your architect is going to be tell you which you have to select. You have to go with single DB, or you have to go with provision or serverless or D2 based model or vCore model. That everything is defined by in the many company by the client or by your architecture. Like if you are using any application, that application is scarce application, or if you are using some MECM application, or you have the SCOM application. So there, each application there is some architect. That person is going to be decide you, and they are going to give you. Sometimes DBA also has to take this decision, but it's difficult. So memory consumption you can ask, like you are going with the 4 TB, you have to go with this, or how to select this series. Selecting the series is very difficult, right? So I will make you very simple, and once you are going with any interview, so what answer you have to give for this. If somebody is asking, you have to select the series, which series I have to select. There is, you can see, if I'm going with the hyper skill, there is again there is some series is there. For selecting the series, I will tell you, you go with the Azure Data Studio. It is very simple. Now my migration is going to be happen, right? I'm going to migrate from on-prem. This is my on-prem server. Leave it about this. And in this on-prem, okay, I will select this. This is my on-prem server. And in this on-prem, I want to migrate these two databases, right? These two databases from on-prem to Azure cloud, right? So selecting the memory, it's fine. But selecting the which series we have to select, it's difficult, right? For that, what if you are working as a junior level, no problem, that everything it will be done by your um, architect. But if you have to take the decision, what you have to select, if somebody is asking you how you are going to select the right series, so you can tell we have to go with the Azure Data Studio. Using Azure Data Studio, we are going to select. So what you have to do, you have to install this Azure Data Studio. And if the Azure, you can click on the manage, and after clicking on the manage, if you'll see the Azure SQL migration is not coming, you have to go to here, and then install this, hit on this. So you can see there is admin pack, there is a multiple thing is coming in the down, right? So I have installed this Azure SQL migration. You have to install the Azure migration. Once you will install, it will appear here. Just install this software, and after that go here in this button extension, and extension, select the Azure migration, just click on that and install it. After installation, this window will going to be appear here. Just click on this, because I have already saved my server name. If you will go here, so I have connected with my on-prem server, right? So that's why it is automatically. So which server you are going to do that one, in that server you will able to do, or if you are going with a remote server, you have the permission to your Azure SQL migration has to connect with from this server to other server. That one you have to take care. Click on the Azure SQL server migration, then wait for it, and then what you have to do, you link the account. Means this one is mandatory. For me it is not coming. What I will do, I will refresh it. If I will refresh, it will be point out to this window. Just you select which one, which is your Azure subscription. So once that should be done, automatically it is going to be linked. After that, you have to select here, means I have the virtual machine or physical server. I am just selecting with the physical server. Server name, this server name already it is taken before, you have seen. While configuring this, you have to give the in the beginning only, or right click and you can add the server name, right? The location, blah blah, you have to select. Then after that, automatically that all server will come here. I want to migrate this to, I will select here and go to the next. It will take some time. What I am showing you, uh, why I am showing you, because how to select the right series. For selecting the right series, I am going to explaining you how to select the right series, because your memory and all, you will able to find out whether you have to go with PaaS, or you have to go with infrastructure as a services, or you have to go with the platform as a services. In the platform as a services, you have to go for Azure SQL, or you have to go for MI. That thing you will take care. But whenever the time will come for build the server, two things is required. One is tier, which tier you have to select, or which series you have to select, or which memory you have to select. So memory, almost it is clear for you how much it is giving for what. But selecting the series, if you don't have, then many people is doing manually. But no need of doing the manually. You go here. Now you can see it is giving that all three. If you are going to migrate this server from on-prem to Azure cloud, you can see you can migrate to PaaS, you can migrate to Azure MI, or you can migrate with all three. Now what you have to do, you have to hit on start data collection and select any path. I am selecting the default path, and it is taking the 10 minutes time to analyze. Once 10 minutes, it is giving here two database is ready and all. So I'm not going with the migration. I'm going to select the proper series. So for series, it is giving like it's required 10 minutes time to select, right? So in that time, I'm pausing this video and I will come back once this will be ready. So you can see down nothing, it is coming here, right? Recommendation column configuration. After 10 minutes, it is going to be give you the recommendation. So just wait for 10 minutes. I will pause this video and I will be connect you again after 10 minutes. So it will take 4 more minutes to give the result about which series we have to select. And in the 4 minute, we will discuss something like if any client or if interviewer is going to be ask you like, tell me, if you have to migrate the one database from on-prem to Azure cloud, so which platform you are going to choose, whether infrastructure as a services or platform as a services. The first question you have to ask about what you have to ask this, and what the first question you have to tell. You have to tell the first things that's called. Your first question is you have to ask like, tell me you required the OS or not, operating system. If it is required the operating system, then if your application or anything depend upon the operating system, then you have to go with infrastructure as a services. The first thing, if client is saying no, there is no dependency of the operating system, then you can select anything. Either you can go with the in PaaS you can go for either Azure SQL, or you can go with the or you can go with the Azure MI. But again, you have to ask the all components whether you require link server. If they are saying yes, link server is not required, so directly you can tell you can go with the PAAS. If the link server is required, you have to go with this one. You have to go with MI. But MI, again, there is the limitation. You cannot connect with the other RDMS, right? You have to connect with the only SQL Server to SQL Server, right? So if that is a requirement, then again you cannot go with the MI also. You have to go with IAAS, Infrastructure as a Services. Again, you have to ask whether you are using any cross query. If they are saying yes, I'm using the cross query, then you cannot go with the PAAS. Or again you have to ask whether you are ready for doing the structural changes into your database architecture. If they are ready, then you can go, but otherwise you can tell you go with the MI. And in MI again, there is something called, like, if they are using SSIS as AS, so you have to ask this whether this is possible. If it is not possible, you cannot go with the PAAS. Um, they are going to use this only, right? So like this, you going to use the database mail, DB mirroring, or something called your always on ability groups. You have to ask the each and every component from your client, or your, if your interview it is going to ask, you have to give this answer. And then next is, if that everything is so what thing like database mail configuration, it is not possible into the past. So that thing directly you can tell, like if something want to create something called agent, so you can ask like whether you can ready to go with some alternative. If they are ready, it's fine. If they are not ready to go with the alternatives, then you cannot go with the PAAS, right? Because PAAS, it's don't having the Azure SQL, don't having the uh, agent. But if you are going with the MI, you have, then again you have to ask with the memory limitation, database size limitation. If they are saying yes, of course it is less than 4 TB, you can go with the PAAS. Or if you are saying like no, I have more than 4 TB, then you cannot go with MI, because MI is limited only 16 TB. Then you have to go with the PAAS, and you have to use the hyper skill. So that thing, it is there where you are going to decide. Then finally, if somebody is asking how you are selecting the right series, for right series you have to go with Azure SQL migration, that one you are seeing here, right? And you can see now the data is loading. So once the data is going to be loaded, it is going to give you the correct series. If you are going with PAAS, which series you have to use. If you are going with Azure managed instance into the PAAS, which series you have to use. If you are going with Azure IAAS, which series. So you can see there is limit, this is given. If you are going with Azure IAAS, you can go with the D2AS V4 series, board 2 CPU. It is taken, and see the this one. And if you are going with PAAS, Azure managed instance, so it is giving here, you can go with the Gen 5 next general purpose for V code 32. And here it is giving again, if you want to go with the PAAS, you can click on the view details. It is giving that you can target deployment, and you can go with the general purpose with 2 V core, because my storage is very very less, so that's why it is given. So like that you will able to see. And if you want to deploy, you can go with the next and select the type Azure database, and what that is for the migration, that one we are going to discuss later, not now. So like that you will able to select, and you will start the doing the migration. But now I don't want to show you these things. Later I am going to explain each and everything. Now it is recommendation is loading here, that is for the migration. Once this is really complete, then you will able to see the all detail here. But I don't want to go with here. My purpose was to showing you this much things only, this three, what you are seeing here, right? So I hope it is clear now for you. And if you have any doubt, you can just email me also. And coming to the again, I have already created multiple of courses here into the Udemy. If you want to go with PowerShell scripting automation, you can go with this course. If you want to learn for HTML health check report, if you want to learn, you can go with this course. If you want to learn for T-SQL for SQL DBA, you can go with this. If you want any professional level of writing the PowerShell code and do want to automate for the SQL DBA, you have to go with this course. In cloud with PowerShell, if you want to learn for infrastructure as a services, you can go with this course. And next, which course I am building, that is called the platform as a services, PAAS. So you can go with this. Thanks for watching this video. We will meet into the next video session. Please continue us and watch my next video session. That's for the today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please continue us, watch my video.